Assalamu alaikum. Good morning everyone. Thank you very much for watching this video. Today I will go for a short description on the background of Russia-Ukraine war. Before going that, I will raise three viewpoints. Number one point: if China forms a military alliance with Bangladesh to encounter India, what will be the India's reaction? Number two, when at the time of 1962 of Kennedy administration of USA, when Russia tried to deploy atomic missile in Cuba, what was the reaction of the then USA administration? And third one is like that: if the member countries of Asia, including Russia, China, Iran or India, form a military alliance to encounter NATO, so what will be the reaction of NATO member countries? So from my limited knowledge, I assure that if this thing happen, there will be a massive retaliation from the opposite country or opposite alliance. Now I will go for the war between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, NATO was established in 1949 to encounter the expansion of socialist country like the then USSR, that means basically Russia, Soviet Union. And for this, Russia, a organization or an alliance led by Russia, Warsaw Pact also formed in 1955. But at the end of Cold War, we saw that in 1991 the Soviet Union was broken into 15 countries. So what was the purpose of NATO? That was fulfilled. So at that time, the NATO member countries assured the Soviet Union, currently which is named as Russia, Russian Federation, that they will not go for expansion, but they are expanding day after day. And thing is that from 1999, Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, is in power, president or prime minister or other thing, but he is in power. At the time of breaking Soviet Union in 1991, he was the head employee of the detective branch of KGB, and he strongly believes till now that that was the biggest catastrophe of the 20th century in the world, and that was not supposed to be done. So my point is, if India doesn't accept the military alliance between China and Bangladesh, if Kennedy administration doesn't accept the deployment of the atomic bomb in Cuba by Russia, if the NATO member countries are not willing to let it form a military alliance by the Asian countries, so why NATO is increasing their member countries, where Finland and Sweden is going to be a member countries, and Ukraine was a part of the Russian Federation. From view of Putin, he thinks that Ukraine is a part of Russia, and we see that after the starting of the war 24 February of 1922, Russia has taken over control of 4 states or parts of the Ukraine like Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia, and Russia took control over the port or a island of Black Sea, that was a part of Ukraine, that is Crimea. And for the sovereignty and economic perspective, Black Sea is very much important, because it is the way to go to Indian Ocean or Atlantic Ocean via the Mediterranean Sea for Russia. So it is quite impossible for Russia to allow Ukraine to be a member country, because if Ukraine becomes a member country, the Western leaders, Western countries like USA, UK, Germany, or France will use the Ukraine to encounter the growth or the supremacy of Russia in the world. What is the consequences of this war in our country? Basically, the consequences have a serious ramification for the developing countries and in the LDC countries. Like, there is a huge skyrocketing inflation, as Russia is a single supplier of biggest supplier of fuel to the Europe, and Ukraine is called the granary sources of the Europe. So that's the problem. By the war, the supply chain actually disrupted all over the world. Transportation cost has become high. There were 2 years of corona pandemic, 2020 to 21, and after that there is a war between Russia and Ukraine, which Russia terms as a special military operation for 22 and till going on. And what will be the result of the war? From my viewpoint, Putin will not never surrender. Actually, he will not lose. Even if he has to use military weapon, he will do that, but he will not surrender. From my limited knowledge, I want to tell that. So a multi-dimensional diplomacy should be carried on to resolve the problems, to ensure peace in the world. The countries like Turkey or China can play a vital role to resolve the crisis. What will be the consequences of this war in Bangladesh? We know that Russia has a huge investment in Bangladesh, like Rupur nuclear power plant. As a single country, USA is the biggest importer of our ready-made garments, and India is our neighboring country, and we import the biggest amount, about $15 billion from China. So we are in a problem. What part should we take? And actually, if we go completely with Russia, USA may impose or ban on the import of ready-made garments. That will create a huge financial distress for Bangladesh. So there is a time of multidimensional diplomacy, according to Professor Imtiaz Sir of International Relations of University of Dhaka. So Bangladesh should go forward scrutinizing all pros and cons for taking steps to engage to any alliance, IPS, Quad, or anything. Bangladesh needs to ensure its economic, or Bangladesh needs to accelerate its diplomacy to ensure its national interest. Thank you very much for watching this video. Pardon me for any mistakes I have made in making this video. Allah Hafiz.